Can I just sneak around this guy and just like hit him in a kneecap or something?
I'll allow it if you can roll a good enough stealth. It's gonna be high.
I'm gonna kneecap this boy. Nat 20.
They have reached the solar system in which the material resides.
Soon we will have both elements for my research. Continue monitoring the situation. Inform me if any unknown variables come into play.
Affirmative. Commencing Operation Surveillance.
Okay. You're on your journey to the next mission. Tremor said there will be 3 days' time. And during those 3 days, you spend the time recharging and essentially going into sleep mode. Zephyr, you won the coin toss, so we're gonna do your flashback dream sequence first, okay?
Sure.
Alright. So this is how it starts. You're looking at your hands as the sun glistens in the background, causing the bright chrome metals to shine. Focusing on your environment around you, you find yourself surrounded by longtime friends and a few new faces here and there. Everyone appears to be having a good time. Plenty of alcoholic energon drinks and goodies all around. You can remember everything as though it was yesterday, even though you know in your spark this happened over 1,000 years ago. You're higher off the ground than you normally are today, which allows you to see more around you. That's right, this is a dinner party to celebrate your company getting a deal with the Senate about creating a prototype stealth armor paint. You brought a sample with you, just in case someone requested to perform a demonstration as like a party trick, but not quite enough to cover your whole body, just enough to like make a hand or a leg almost look as if it disappeared. The dinner party is taking place on top of one of the fancy buildings in Iacon, but not high enough to ignore the Autobot protesters below. You can't necessarily hear them, but you know they're there, and you can see them over the balcony. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
17.
Looking around, you see there's a few senators here. It's mostly longtime friends, people like you, and you spot Senator Ratbat in the back. And he seems to be trying to leave the party in a hurry. Curious, you start heading towards his direction. Before you can reach him, you're stopped by another senator, a young, attractive bot, possibly around the height of 19 feet, roughly your height at this point. Smooth paint, polish that glosses in the sunlight, reaches out with a blue arm and grabs your hand and begins to shake it.
How are you, my good friend? Congratulations on your new deal. That should keep you busy for quite a while.
His perfect blue optics meet yours as you look up. A sense of calmness rushes over you, and you completely forget about the events that are about to unfold here. You know who this is, but you can't seem to remember their name. You're too afraid to ask at this point. All you know is you owe this senator everything about the deal. They were the ones that convinced the others to vote for it.
Yes, surely. This is an amazing deal, and it really, really couldn't have gone through without you. To what do I owe you?
Oh, I just came in to check on things to see how you are doing.
Well, as you can see, I'm doing splendid.
That's fantastic. I know this new technology is going to help our brand new team from the Senate. I think they call themselves the Marauders. I think you've heard of them, the Cybertronian Expansion Unit. They're mostly to explore other planets, but occasionally they have to engage in hostiles, and this new technology is going to help them tremendously.
Outstanding. But why stop there? Why not go for, say, your air recons, or say, your police force, or say, you name it?
Oh, fantastic. I knew you were a smart one. If only we can get Ratbat on our side. Unfortunately, he's a busy senator, always keeping the anarchists at bay. I think they call themselves the Rise.
It just reminds me, he just left right before this here conversation.
Oh, did he? Then I should probably actually get going. It was a pleasure meeting you again. I've always enjoyed our meetings.
Whoa, Senator, why the rush? We're celebrating.
I have to head home and hit the recharge slab for tomorrow's hearing with Nova Prime and his never ending proposal to conquering other planets. Take care, my friend.
Why, you too, Senator.
He pats you on the shoulder and turns to leave the party. Some time passes, and a few more new faces that were at the party occasionally leave, until all that remain are those that you've known your whole life. Your people, bots much like yourselves. Those who have to hide their true selves in order to live in this society. Your spark buddy, Forefront, approaches you, a bot whose head seems slightly too large for the body he is attached to. Speaking of which, you don't remember their body being this proportionally small compared to their head. Regardless, they appear to be about the same height as you are now, slightly skinnier, and their build looks as if they turned into some form of street lamp. Embarrassing, you don't want to ask. Forefront comes up to you,
How's our favorite crowd?
and as he's saying this, you look over the balcony to see if the Autobot protesters are still there. Nothing. Looks as though things have calmed down.
It looks as if they weren't too keen on the product. We may have to expand our color line.
Yeah, well, the Autobots.
I suggest giving them a color to resemble targets.
You always were the funny one.
You turn your head back, just in time to witness several unknown bots burst out of the elevator with heavy weapon artilleries. The one leading the front assault points a high-powered laser gun at your head. Go ahead and roll me athletics.
Does this count as a combat roll?
Since it's more of like a dream state, let's say no.
17.
You duck just as a shot is going off, but Forefront does not see you ducking and instead jumps in front of the way of the blast to try to cover where your body was.
Oh, you fool.
His body drops to knees, then slumps to the floor, with a cavern where their head and neck used to be. Purple liquid pours out between their shoulders.
Oh, gosh.
So what do?
I paint my head.
A large blaster goes off. You remember this moment. This aching feeling in your chest. Looking down is a gaping hole. Nozzles, fluids, wires sparking. The same purple liquid that poured from Forefront's body now leaks from yours. Your vision begins to go black. You can still hear the shouting, blaster fire, and screams around you. Until your hearing goes. You assume some time has passed and your optics are still offline, but you can hear some things coming in and out. You can tell you're in a hospital bed and that they have the news on. A bot on the TV goes,
Hello, this is Circuit with Icon News Service, and it's with a heavy spark today that I am saddened to report another mass shooting. It is still unclear on which group is responsible, but our sources suggest it's likely from Autobot protesters from earlier during celebration of the Senate's latest deals.
The news slowly fades, and you wake back up on the Hydra assault knowing that the nightmare is over. At least for today, until your next recharge. So now we can switch to Eight Wheeler.
Yeah.
So, here goes your dream sequence. You've just finished a mission retrieving a heavily encrypted data pad from a hidden base inside a cave on a planet you can't quite seem to remember. Every time you try, pieces that seem to be missing go completely blank. You and your team load up on your ship, which also feels fuzzy and filled with white noise. You get a message from Airway, a bot that's slightly smaller, built than yourself, who turns into a stealth Cybertronian helicopter, who's also your team's pilot, trying to say something, but somewhat muffled. You can make out the following. We're heading back to Cybertron to meet up with... They want to see the data pad in person. You agree to this and finish climbing into your ship. You look around and you can see the rest of your team here. Wavelength. She's the one who's currently trying to decrypt the data pad using her expertise with hacking and technology. You rarely see her in her alt mode because she turns into a radio satellite dish. She looks up at you as you make your way into the cabin of the ship, then looks back down and continues doing what she does best. Ground Chop. You don't remember meeting many bots bigger than yourself, but Ground Chop is much taller and bulkier than you, which makes sense due to him turning into a massive tank. He lays on his back on the opposite side of the cabin, away from everyone else, tossing a new toy while he found on a mission. Up, down, the toy goes. Can't focus on it too much, but your assumption is it's a new type of grenade. Ground Chop love to blow things up. Axis zooms past you in a small motorbike alt mode, then does a sick stoppie before pivoting and transforming, rolling into the seat next to yours. You and Axis always got along the best. They're not a very tall bot and have always been super energetic, which is what you like best. Reminded you of your youth. Axis, twiddling their fingers, turns and looks up at you.
Another successful mission, huh, boss?
That is correct, Axis. We're going home.
Before Axis can respond to you, Ground Chop gets up and leaves, and everything begins to fade to white. And when you come out of this memory fuzz of yours on Cybertron with your team entering a rundown factory, this place looks like it's been abandoned for decades. Graffiti marks on the side of the building, broken glass and windows litter the place. Airway opens the door and says, "This is the meeting place. I know what you're all thinking. Nice place they got here. Who wouldn't want this to be the exchanging location? Beautiful art, lovely windows, and don't get me started on the free turbo foxes that could be running all around this place." Ground Chop makes a loud step
And great acoustics.
as his step echoes off all the walls and bounces in the facility. You all shuffle into the building towards the center. Wavelength still working on decryption. Ground Chop checking leftover shelves and desks in search of, you can only guess it, something that explodes. Airway pacing back and forth next to Wave, mothering some sort of deafening noise, but you can kind of make it out. They should have been here by now. You and Axis are checking out what appears to be some form of Energon storage locker, turning the circular handle and opening the door to see what's inside. Nothing. Nothing but an empty prison of a room. You step inside, but Axis stands near the door, keeping it propped open with their foot. Taking a glance at the door from the inside, you can see it's the one of those doors that can't be opened from inside the room. Axis does an exaggerated look around from the position they're currently at and says,
Well, that's disappointing. I was hoping to get a souvenir from this place.
Eight Wheeler, you want to roll me a perception check?
Will do. That's 6.
Okay. It's a dream sequence. It's fine. You won't see much, but you will see this. Looking around in this room, you spot a piece of a metal in the corner. It shines a little bit. It's on a broken shelf at the far end of the room. Axis isn't tall enough to see what it is or even see it from their position, and they're currently standing disappointingly at the door. What do you do?
I pick up the shard. I would like to examine it.
So you walk further into the room and you pick up whatever this object is. It appears to be some old, scuffed, rusted, old design of an Autobot insignia. Taking at first glance and eyeballing it, it looks like it may have been made over 6 million years ago. Possibly one of the very first ones made by Onyx Prime. As you're picking up the item, you can hear Wavelength yell from the outside of the room.
Eight Wheeler, I finished decrypting the files, and I think you need to take a...
And before she could finish the sentence, a sniper round goes off, followed by several explosions. Axis, in a panic, turns, taking their foot out from holding the door open and shouting,
Wavelength, no!
The door shuts, and you hear the locking mechanism click. There's a small window just barely big enough to peek outside. but it's so old and worn, all you can see are silhouettes and the occasional bright light of blaster fire and explosions.
As the door closes and I hear the blaster fire and try to look outside, I just start banging against the door, screaming, Axes! Axes! Are you there? What's happening? Let me out! I'm stuck in here!
It's at this point you begin to remember that this has already happened, that this is just a terrible memory. Rapidly starting from your peripheral vision, darkness begins to take over your sight. You hear a muffled voice outside the room, and you know it's not one of your crewmates, but you can vaguely remember what they are saying.
Now, little one, before I tear your last limb off, tell me where
Static noise takes over, and you wake up on the Hydra assault.
As I wake up, I punch the recharge station, and I kind of look straight ahead angrily, and I'm like, I'm gonna find you.
Metal creaks under the weight of your punch. You've both spent 3 days on the ship, and what caused you both to wake up is the ship shaking, coming out of warp drive, just over orbit over on Antilla. Looking out the shuttle windows, you can see the planet turning very slowly. Large clouds swirl. Antillian satellites twinkle as the sun reflects off their glass solar panels and chrome frames. Tremor comes down from the captain's quarter.
Now, this is supposed to be a neutral zone. No warships. I hope you don't get claustrophobic. You'll be taking a small pod to the planet's surface. From there, it will be up to you to find the object. Our informant suggests you'll have the best luck putting pressure on other Cybertronians that hide and cower here on the planet. They should be able to bring you to the building developing this material.
You both shuffle into one of the 2 pods that are on the ship. 8-wheel, you're more experienced with this type of spacecraft and know all the buttons do inside. You press launch, and you both feel the pod shuffle as it blasts off from the Hydra assault. As you begin to free fall, you can see the Decepticon carrier in orbit over the planet. As you continue to create further distance, you can see more details of the planet below you. Outlines of mountain ranges, large buildings. The pod lands outside one of the large cities, just a mile into the forest around. Unlike the takeoff from the Decepticon assault, the landing is much smoother, but takes what feels like twice as long. And just as you begin to get irritated with being in such a small pod together, the door hisses open and comes down a ramp to the surface world. What do?
Looks like we're here, Zephyr. Get your game face on.
Another easy mission, I presume.
It should be. It should be an in and out.
Excellent.
As you step into the forest, beautiful animals are spotted throughout the forest as you make your way to the cities. Creatures that can only be described as the following, so that listeners out there may be able to visualize just a few. A cat-like creature whose fur looks like silk, but the colors change based on the angle you look at it. The creatures call it chroma flare, but unlike those on cats on Earth, this one has wings with transparent webbing. And as it takes off into the sky, you can see a beautiful rainbow of colors spill down as the sun's beam shines through its wings. As you watch the winged cat take off into the sky, your optics are drawn to another animal who resides here. A flutter of butterfly-like insects, each glowing different colors fading in and out, and it's hard to tell if they change colors or if they switch spots during flight. As they make their way past you, you can see they leave a glowing dust particle in the air for a few seconds at the spot they once were, before the dust appears to dissipate, leaving a short trail behind each insect. You both need to roll me a perception.
That's a 5.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
Oh, 16.
Okay, so 8-wheeler, you're fixated on these butterfly glowing like creatures. They don't hear the following. Zephyr, you can hear the thumping, the fast pace running. A turbo fox dashes between you two and speeds towards the city as if it's late for something. You know for certain this is not a native animal here on Antilla, and perhaps a Cybertronian shipped them over. Now, whether it's trained or not, you are uncertain, but something tells you it wouldn't be running into the city if it wasn't, and that following it may help in accomplishing this mission. What do?
I tell Wheeler what you said. Hey, I'm snapping my fingers even though my mic's not picking it up.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah, yeah.
wakey. Hey. We got a problem here. There's a thumping.
There's a thumping. Do you see where it comes from?
Well, do you see where that turbo fox was running from? It went literally right between us.
Oh, I was just looking at these beautiful creatures over here with the dazzling colors. Okay, so if a turbo fox is running from something, we should be running too. And I transform into my alt mode.
You're so perceived. Like, I'm proud of you. Yeah, I'm gonna need a hitch a ride. Just don't run. Well, run with that turbo fox, or yeah, run the direction that turbo fox is running. Huh?
Will do. And I wait for him to get on, and I just pedal to the metal.
As you pass the tree line, you see an influx of purple humanoid creatures who appear to be the same creatures you've seen at the hospital. They appear to also be the dominant species of this planet. These Antillians appear to be no taller than 6.5 feet or 2 meters in height and variety of clothes, gadgets, and hairstyles. Most notice you two coming out of the forest, but barely even pause to think about it, given the idea that these creatures are used to seeing those of your race. Still following the turbo fox through the crowd and deeper into the city, making lefts, making rights, weaving through traffic. Roll me a perception and then roll me an athletics.
That was for perception. That was a 9.
I got a 21, not 20 for perception.
Okay.
And then athletics. Oh, great. That's an 11 for athletics.
Okay, you definitely can keep an eye on the turbo fox between the two of you. Unfortunately, your weaving through traffic is not great, and it doesn't help that you're such a big vehicle and you've suffered an injury from last encounter. Go ahead and take 4 damage from running into another oncoming vehicle.
Nice driving.
Man, I should have never shot myself.
After going a couple more blocks, you see that the turbo fox darts into a nearby building that has several kinds of entrances for all kinds of shapes and sizes of beings. Do you wish to proceed?
Is it a very small gap, or is it like a gap enough that I can go in without breaking a wall or anything?
It has several doors of different sizes, all of which you could fit through, except for the small ones, obviously.
Okay. I will continue to just follow the fox.
Once you get inside, you don't see the turbo fox. It seems to be of lost because this is not just any ordinary building. It's an Antillian mega mall.
Oh.
Escalators are everywhere. They go to heights that could not make it on their own, to countertops that have tiny ships next to them, transaction pads meant for Cybertronians. There are booths everywhere, all kinds of materials. There's food for organic organisms. There's all kinds of things at this mega mart. You name it, they probably have it.
This is an infestation of Cybertronian utilities.
We're not in Cybertron.
Yeah, they're inside they're using Cybertronian tech.
Huh.
One of the first booths you notice has a Cybertronian at it, and what you assume is a nail, a non-aligned indigenous life form. He's red, white, and blue. Now he kind of sounds like an American, but I swear, I'm just trying to describe him. He's got a blue metal beanie, which is an interesting look. It appears to be mostly for cosmetics. He sells energon mixers and other Cybertronian items. He looks like he's there to specifically sell to Cybertronian tourists. Taking an even quicker look around, the majority of booths are not all operated by Cybertronian. They're operated by creatures of all kinds of races and sizes. But this is the first one you can see that is mostly meant for Cybertronians. As you walk up to the booth, the character standing there goes, "Ah, my fellow Cybertronians, you look lost. Can I help you?"
Yes, you can. We were following a turbo fox. We seem to have lost it in the crowd. Do you know anything about that?
I might know something about that if you have, the right, what's the nicest way to say this? Currency?
could come to an agreement, unless my partner here thinks otherwise.
Who's your partner? I don't see anyone.
Are you literally selling information for money?
Who said that? And as he says that, he then looks over the counter.
I'm a ghost.
Oh, and who is this little one?
He doesn't like to be called little. You should be careful.
I'm sorry, my friend. How can I help you today?
Well, you want to know where that fox went?
A fox. Yeah. How much you got?
Your life?
Told you not to mess with him.
So maybe two Shannocks if you're lucky.
This is a peaceful planet. We don't do that kind of stuff here.
I'm very good at making sure it didn't look like we did that stuff here.
Told you not to mess with him.
Big, the tall one. What's your name again?
My name is Eight Wheeler.
Eight Wheeler.
I'm the scary one here. Don't look at him.
Your friend seems to be upset, so I'm gonna talk to you. What can I do?
Set condescending.
You're gonna make this worse.
Just want to know where the fox went.
Well, how much Shannocks do you have?
I kill you.
What was that? Excuse me?
No, nothing. Just talk to my partner here. Yeah, I'm gonna take a look around.
Okay. Well, partner, what you need?
Can I just sneak around this guy and just like hit him in a kneecap or something?
I'll allow it if you can roll a good enough stealth. It's gonna be high.
I'm gonna kneecap this boy. Nat 20.
Well, as he's distracted looking at Eight Wheeler, Zephyr makes it around the booth. And what do you do to his kneecaps exactly?
I break his kneecaps.
Vivid detail. Tell me more.
I want to break his kneecaps to the point where he falls down to my level. And then I want him to look me in the eye. And then if he wants to keep his elbows, I want to know where the foxes are. Where the fox went.
How you plan on doing that? Shooting him? Hitting him?
I guess I'm just going to have to use my slingshot and pop a knee.
You know what to roll?
10.
Okay.
Do I get an advantage roll?
No.
I'm behind him.
Okay, fine.
19.
Roll your damage. Will point out I did not see this coming.
6.
With Zephyr, anything is possible.
I guess. Alright, so he screams out in pain but drops to his knees, which now brings him to eye level with you, Zephyr.
Now, we're behind a counter, right?
Correct.
Hey, Wheeler, can you bosh for me?
Okay. I just turn around and I cross my arms and just looking.
I bang his head on the counter. And I say, okay, maybe this will help you with remembering where the fox went. Where did the fox go?
He went to the mountain.
What mountain?
The mountain outside the city.
What's the name of the mountain outside the city?
It's Mount Peaceful, which is kind of funny.
Mount Peaceful. That is hilarious. Thank you. See? This is just how easy it was, right? I mean, we didn't have to do this. You didn't have to make me do this. This is 100% your fault.
That's why I left Cybertron. Because of bots like you.
Wah. You can't run from your past, man.
What does that even mean?
Anyway, I honestly don't know. I'm going to bang your head on the cabinet here one more time.
Alright, it goes clunk, and he just kind of falls unconscious sideways. Alright, Eight Wheeler, while you're standing guard, I'm going to let you roll perception to see if you can see anything.
Okay. That's a 20. That's not natural. It's a 19 plus 1.
Yeah, you actually spot the fox at the other end of the mall, leaving through the exit doors.
Hey, Zephyr. I just saw the fox. He's on the other end of the mall. Are you done back there?
Yes.
Okay.
We got it. We have to. Apparently, it's called Mount Peaceful.
Okay. Well, hope you know where you really are going. Let's roll out.
Do you want to go out the same exit doors the Turbo Fox took, or out the same doors you came in?
I'll go out through the one the Turbo Fox took, quickly as possible.
Alright, you make it outside, and you notice that Antilla is in its twilight hours. Like, the sun is going down, which is interesting because did not see that in the solar system, this planet not only orbits a sun, but a small black hole next to it as well, which becomes more and more visible as the night sky approaches, showing off the small tail of plasma of the sun leaking into the black dot of darkness in the sky. As night approaches, you notice a lot of the natives appear to be quickly heading inside as lamps begin to light up the streets. This makes walking and traveling through the city very much easier. As soon as you reach the edge of the city, you hear a low rumbling noise, and you see no sight of the fox anywhere. And other than the rumbling noise, you do see Mount Peaceful just past the forest edge. Two sets of red eyes light up and lunge out of the bushes and move into sight. Massive mechanical hellhounds stare you both down. Roll perceptions for me real quick.
And
Oh boy.
It's a 7.
Okay, so you don't really notice this. You both never have seen these creatures before, although you've heard about them being usually with bounty hunters, but you've never seen these hellhounds before. They begin getting closer. A mechanical click occurs, and you witness two sets of pistols pop out of their shoulders, and they point it at you. Roll initiatives.
Got an 18.
We got an 18 and a 10. Okay. Alright, Eight Wheeler. It looks like you're up first.
When I see it pop up, I kind of hit the brakes and kind of drift a little as we halt. And I say, Zephyr, looks like we have company. Get ready for a fight. As I open the back door so Zephyr can step out. And then I transform into my bot mode. And I take my fusion cannon and I aim it towards the one that has the cannons on its shoulders. And I'll try to shoot at it.
Okay. Roll to hit.
18.
Ooh. I'll do it. Roll damage.
That's 9.
Yeah. It makes a loud thunk and it stumbles, and you can definitely see it did a lot of damage to this hellhound. Wires are spewing, sparks all over the place. It's missing an eye. You really messed up one of its arms. Good job.
Once I blow him up, I kind of chuckle a little, and I pop my gears on my neck, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be easy.
With that, we have Zephyr.
what am I looking at here again?
We're looking at one hellhound fully prepped, ready to tear you apart with two pistols on its shoulders, and another that was severely damaged by Eight Wheeler.
Okay. I suck at combat, my boy. I'm gonna do a cheeky shot on the one that's dying, so I can. That way we can only have to worry about one initiative from them.
Yeah.
That makes any sense.
Sounds good. Do what you can, partner.
18 for the damage one,
Absolutely.
and then I'm gonna use my dual pistols on him. 7.
It's almost as if it was overkill. It falls from the loud double bang that your pistol does and collapse. You can hear the gears slowly turn silent for this hellhound. Is that all?
These are just hellhounds, right? They're not like legitimate Cybertronians, right?
Yeah, they're like hellhounds. They're not legit Cybertronians that you can tell. Yeah,
Okay.
I see what you're doing.
Time to create something completely abnormal.
Oh no.
I guess that's all I can do. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. With that, it is the remaining hellhound's turn, and he's gonna see what you just did to its buddy Zephyr, and it's gonna try to lunge at you.
Son of a glitch.
Scrap.
As it jumps and tears at your shoulder blades. 4 damage?
Okay, question for you. When we were on our recharge slabs, did we actually recharge all our health?
Yes. Sorry if I forgot to mention that.
Okay.
Oh no, I figured because those 4 at the beginning would have killed me.
Okay.
What does that put you at?
2.
Alright, so with that, it's back to Eight Wheeler's turn.
I'll take care of him. I'll shoot it with my cannon again. Yeah, and I'll tell it to stay away from my partner, dog.
See that happen?
26. Natural 20.
Nice. Perfect. Let's roll. Well, let's double your damage, whatever the roll is.
That's 5, so 10.
It's as if the most perfect blast comes out and kills the hellhound instantly. How would you like to do this?
I'll run and kind of push Zephyr back a little, and I'll shove my fusion cannon underneath his neck, and I'll shoot upwards
Ooh,
to blow off his head.
I sense inspiration.
We'll leave it there.
Yes, you blast, and the spinal cord of the hellhound bursts out from its back, and you don't even hear the gears whining. It's just absolute silence after you fire your shot. Perfect.
Are you okay, partner? I'm not losing another one.
I'll be okay.
Do you have any med packs on you?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Let's just finish the mission.
Well, we're gonna have to find a place to fix you up a little. You don't sound too good.
Let's just finish the mission. I should have ripped that vendor's head off.
Oh, I'll get you another encounter with him so you can do that.
Oh my god.
Let's get you rest up a little bit. We know the location of the Turbo Fox, so meet with it up there. I'll try to take him to see if there's any like medical station around that we could go in. I know that everything's closed, but I'll try to break in.
It doesn't seem too many places are open. If they are, they're just now closing. Yeah, the nearest medical station that you see, you're going to have to break in. And with that, you're going to probably roll a stealth and a strength for me.
I should have asked you to do it. So which one do you want me to do first? The stealth, and then the.
That is up to you.
What is my strength for to like break the door or break like a window?
Yeah, it's to break the door, break the glass, essentially.
So I don't have any way to lock pick any, so I'll have to break stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna break first. That's a 7.
You attempt to break this locked door, and it doesn't seem to be budging at all. The windows also have metal bars that look to be the same kind of reinforcements the door has.
Scrap. Can your hands be able to unlock this door? Are they small enough to crack open the door?
Of course! Who do you think I am? Of course I can do it!
You're the great Zephyr. You can do anything, my dude.
You bet!
Let's get you in there. I try to hold him so he can have a stable as he tries to unlock the door.
Why is everything so red?
We're gonna get you fixed. Don't worry.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a Constitution, Zephyr, if you're going to try lockpick and open the door.
Constitution.
Yeah, you got focus.
Oh.
You said you saw red.
17.
Yeah, you are able to unlock this door. It swings open.
Have you ever doubted me?
I never did. I kind of rush in, holding him, and try to look for any medical supplies that I could use to stabilize him.
You don't see or find any Cybertronian medical supplies. The closest you can find are probably car parts, brake pads, and engine bits, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You may be able to stop some of his fluids leaking and maybe get him stable, if that's what you wish.
Yeah, I'll try that. I was part of a squad, so I should have a little bit of medical training. What would that be? Would that be a
Roll me 1d4 to heal him.
2?
Go ahead and heal for 2, Zephyr.
So where were we?
We're going after the Turbo Fox.
Of course. I knew that all along.
Glad to have you back.
I definitely don't have any brain fluid being leaked out of my sockets.
No, you did not. You look perfect.
Good man.
All right. Eight Wheeler, you walk out of this building. Zephyr, you stumble out of it. Almost as if you were drinking, but it's really just the lack of energon in your systems. And you continue the march forward up the mountain. At the very top, you see a building. Not at the top of the mountain, but you can see it when you look on the other side of it, like on the dark side of the mountain, if that means. I guess it's all dark now because it's nighttime. But on the opposite side that you were on.
Okay, where the city's not.
Right, the opposite side of
Yeah.
the city. Roll perceptions for me real quick.
13.
9.
Okay. Zephyr, you see the building, you're like, okay, that must be it. That's the mission. Eight Wheeler, however, you see like some tracks leading into the side of the mountain next to that building, but no door or entryway. It looks like it just goes into the rock wall. You continue your march down the mountain to this building. Some wind picks up and a great gust appears to be coming from above, but you can see nothing there. Just as you approach this building, you both feel something familiar pressed up against the back of each of your heads. And a bot says,
Alright, lads. We can either do this the easy way or the hard way.